The Chicago Bulls winners of 10 of 11. The Knicks winners of 7 straight. And then again, we'll salute Marv at the half. Stay with us on a very special night at Madison Square Garden. Need I say, the house is full? Let's meet the lineups.
Tonight's starting lineups. First for the Bulls. At guard, at 6'2" from Notre Dame, number 5, John Paxson. At guard, at 6'6" from North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. At forward, at 6'7" from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. At forward, at 6'10" from Clemson, number 54, Horace Grant. And at center, at 7'1" from San Francisco, number 24, Bill Cartwright. The trainer is Chip Schaefer, assistant coaches John Bach, Jim Clemens, and Tex Winter, and the head coach, Phil Jackson. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard, at 6'3" from St. John's, number 13, Mark Jackson. At guard, at 6'6" from Tennessee, Chattanooga, number 21, Gerald Wilkins. At forward, at 6'8" from Wichita State, number 32, Xavier McDaniel. At forward, at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. And at center, at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. The assistant trainer is Tim Walsh, the head trainer Mike Saunders, assistant coaches Dick Potter, Paul Silent, and Jeff Van Gundy, and the head coach for the Knicks, Pat Riley.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, and yes, excuse me, Marv, we have a basketball game here tonight between the Knicks and the Bulls about to begin, and we're very happy to introduce our newest announcer, Marv Albert, who'll be here to do this game for you tonight. Marv, welcome back to the table. You've been running around, signing autographs, visiting with all the dignitaries, and are you up to the task?
Thanks, John. This is getting out of hand.
Totally out of hand.
And I know it's annoyed you.
And as Al said, it's only the beginning. But we have a game that's going to interrupt this honoring of you.
There is a basketball game of some significance that will be taking place here as the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls get set to meet for the 4th time this season. Chicago winning the previous 3, and you can see that road record for the Bulls at 28-8. That is the best in the NBA. They've won 10 of their last 11 on the road. They have won 7 straight on the road. And the overall record of 58-13 is the Bulls' best record in the history of the franchise after 71 games. Lee Jones, Bill Oakes, and Joe Borgia are working the game tonight. The Knicks coming off the splendid West Coast journey, capped off by the victory Sunday night against Portland, completing the sweep of the West. And for the Knicks, Sunday night in Portland, a win against a quality team on its home floor. Indeed, very impressive. Mark Jackson and Gerald Wilkins in the backcourt. Up front, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, and Xavier McDaniel. And here is Oakley. McDaniel able to keep it alive. Ewing over Pippen. Rebound Oakley, and a loose ball foul being called. It's against Oakley.
Seemed to be a little late, and that's why Charles is unhappy about it. Marv, coming in tonight, certainly the Knicks feel better about themselves as a team than at any other point of the season. And isn't it interesting that the best is being served up to them now here at the Garden upon their return?
And you recall the last time these clubs met at the Garden, February 13th, and the Bulls blew out the Knicks 106-85. The feeling was the Knicks got caught up in the big game atmosphere, and they started the game in very tense fashion. Jordan drew the foul. Wilkins is called for the hack.
Well, they opened the game with 5 misses and 2 turnovers, and before you knew it, it was 8-0, and they shot 40% for the game and weren't ready for the Bulls. They did react tensely, and the Bulls just went right through them.
Cartwright for Grant. It counts, and the foul. So Horace Grant with the bucket, and he'll go to the line. Xavier McDaniel called for the foul.
Nice look by Cartwright, no hand up in his face, so he could deliver that ball down to Horace Grant, who keeps emerging. You know, if Knicks fans only see him twice a year, let's say here, and twice on television away, they don't realize perhaps that this guy is getting better and better, and it's showing up in the scorebook because he's scoring a lot more points.
Mark Jackson, the NBA Player of the Week, being guarded by John Paxson.
He'll caught right into his annoying ways with Patrick Ewing, and Jackson stayed with him until he got Ewing the ball at the right place.
Bill Cartwright has provided problems over the years against his former teammate, Patrick Ewing. The Bulls 3 and the Knicks 2. We're just underway at the Garden. Pippen rebounded by Ewing. Darrell Wilkins has had a number of good games against the Bulls, and the plan is usually that Wilkins occupy Jordan at the other end. Not able to hit on the 3. And that has been the most effective method to keep Michael in check. But Jordan able to spring loose. And the Bulls lead it by the score of 5-2.
What's amazing is that Jordan has yet to score 30. His average against the Knicks this season only averaging 24 a game. I would think, Marv, that he'd want to come out and announce to New York that he is Michael Jordan. He hasn't shown the Knicks that.
And here's a 2-on-1 developing. Wilkins able to get back. Paxson all the way. And the Bulls lead it by the score of 7-2. Knicks try to take advantage on the transition, but the Bulls get back.
How about that move by Paxson? You don't have to dunk the ball. If you have a left hand, as he did in the left side, he protected it and put it up beautifully.
McDaniel going to the head fake. Grant does not buy it. Grant strips him. McDaniel on the recovery and forces. That with the shot clock running down. Here comes Pippen. And it is an offensive foul. Scottie Pippen looking very confident as he began his move with Mark Jackson back.
Well, he went airborne, and he certainly can soar. Mark held his ground to draw the foul.
The Knicks have opened up by hitting only one of their first 6 from the field. Bulls with a 7-2 lead. 3 minutes gone by. Shot clock at 5. Here's Wilkins. Crowd reacted. They thought Ewing hit. Ewing on the recovery. Oh, tough defense by the Bulls, and a foul is called. People forget that the Chicago Bulls have been, in recent years, the toughest defensive team in the NBA.
And that's what wins championships, and that's why they are the favorite right now. They did that to Cleveland the other night in their last game, Saturday night. They blew them out after a shaky start, and it was defense that did it for them in the second half in that 24-point victory against the Cavs, who are really making noise. But the Chicago Bulls get up, and Phil Jackson has Tex Winter and Johnny Bach next to him to help him out with his strategies, taking a look at defending, making contenders and champions. Look at the Detroit Pistons and the other fine teams in the league. The Knicks right there, too, allowing second fewest points in the NBA per game this year.
It's the Bulls 7. And the Knicks 4. Chicago comes off a 126-102 victory over the Cavaliers on Saturday night. Here is Pippen. And Ewing off the board. Wilkins wide open for 3.
Very hard to make that. Pippen was running right at him. Had to distract him.
Jordan. The Bulls lead it by the score of 9-4. Michael Jordan had 44 on Saturday night against the Cavaliers, hit 21 for 32. Crowd moaning on that Oakley outside attempt. The Knicks are now 1 for 10 from the field. Well, we talked about the Knicks opening up, having their difficulties the last time the Knicks and the Bulls played here at the Garden. Well, they missed 9 of the first 10 at the start.
I haven't seen Lawrence Taylor lately, but it's Marv Albert night, and here he is. He and many others here tonight. Well, Lawrence did go to North Carolina, didn't he, Marv? And speaking of North Carolina, that's Michael Jordan's opening statement in the game. Nice layup for him. Taking a look at Michael Jordan against the Knicks, 24 a game against the rest of the league, 30.
The Bulls with a 9-4 lead. 4 minutes gone by in this first quarter. And the Knicks have hit only 1 out of their first 10. And that's the foul on Cartwright. He pushed Ewing. Ewing lost his balance.
You notice how Patrick doesn't get angry at Bill. He might fire a few glares at others, but not his old teammate.
Well, they had an excellent relationship when Cartwright was here as a member of the New York Knicks, and he and Ewing would scrimmage in practice on a daily basis. That was deflected out by the Bulls, called a leg block, so the Knicks get the new 24.
But you know, Marv, as we've seen, Cartwright really muscles Patrick. I mean, almost to the extreme, I think.
I think that's a factor also that Ewing does not, as Wilkins blows the stuff, rebounded by Oakley. And the Bulls with a 9-6 lead. I think because there are so many good feelings about Cartwright, who is a terrific guy, as we know. Maybe Patrick Ewing has difficulty getting psyched up to play him in angry fashion. Cartwright. Pippen with the save. 2 on the shot clock. Jordan has to force. And it is a 24-second violation. So a strong defensive sequence by the Knicks.
But you know, Marv, you might recall more than I, but it seems I never saw Cartwright stop big people when he was a member of the Knicks like he contains Ewing. You know, he seems to be, my recollection of his career is he's at his best against Patrick Ewing as a defensive player, more so than anyone else when he was a member of the Knicks. He really rises.
That may be. We don't see him on a regular basis with the Bulls against other opposition. Bulls lead it by 3. Foul is called, sending Scottie Pippen to the foul line. McDaniel called for his second.
One way or another, it seems that Xavier finds his way to the Knicks bench early these days, whether it be fouls or just not getting it done to the intensity level that Pat Riley expects. He had a very weak trip considering the Knicks' success, and the Knicks need him in a game like this.
Scottie Pippen averaging 21 per game, 78% free throw shooter. And now the feeling is that Scottie has elevated his game to a level near Michael Jordan's. Jordan, the focal point of Chicago's offense, but Pippen prefers to let the game come to him. That is the difference between the two. The Bulls with a 11-6 lead, and Chicago going to pressure. They'll turn it on and off. Wilkins trying to save it, and the pressure bothered the Knicks. Here's Paxson from deep. The Bulls lead it 13-6.
That surprise got them 2 points. Then they get back. See, that's the element of surprise that they present to teams, so they don't get ready for it, used to it.
Ewing on the recovery. The Knicks are now 2 for 14 from the field. Jackson, who has been hitting the jumper, cuts it to a 5-point Chicago lead. Paxson wide open again. John Paxson wide open right throughout this opening quarter, and he has hit on 3 out of 3. Bulls lead it 15-8.
You often hear about teams spacing their offense. That's what the Bulls do so well, and that's why Paxson appears open so often. They're spaced out well. They use the entire court.
Jordan backing Wilkins. And the foul committed by Wilkins. That is his second. Here's John Starks coming on, replacing Xavier McDaniel. So Pat Riley is going to the 3-guard alignment with Wilkins, Starks, and Jackson, along with Ewing. And Oakley, and you see the Knicks 3 for 16 from the field.
Well, against Portland the other night, the Knicks shot 48%. And when that ball is going in the basket at that frequency rate, why, things are easy. A lot of problems seem to go away when you're shooting the ball well. Against a team like the Bulls, the Knicks are not going to win shooting like this.
Michael Jordan now averaging 30.6 per game to lead the NBA. And he has 6 points. Bulls 17. And the Knicks 8. Starks eluding Paxson. Lost the dribble momentarily. Ewing through the foul. Yes, and it counts. Cartwright called for the foul. Ewing will go to the line.
Fine move by Ewing, dishing out to Cartwright, all kinds of deception. One fake, and then he drew Cartwright into him. And then Patrick, with the strength that he has, makes the shot after the bump.
Will Perdue will check in, replacing Bill Cartwright. Cartwright called for his second and has some words as he departs in the direction of the official Lee Jones. Will Perdue has also played well coming off the bench against the Knicks. Ewing able to complete the 3-point play. The Bulls 17 and the Knicks 11. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert, John Andrews, Al Troutwig, Walt Clyde Frazier from the Garden. Now Starks guarding Jordan with help from Wilkins. And Oakley to the boards. Jackson gets it down for Wilkins. Paxson able to close the baseline. Oh, Jordan with the intercept. He took a bullet out of the air and then goes all the way. Bulls lead 19-11.
See, the Bulls are taking away from the Knicks. That's 2 situations now in the last 2 minutes. But they took an opportunity away from the Knicks and turned it into points.
Ewing rolling in on Perdue. A gorgeous move once again by Patrick Ewing. Bulls lead it by 6.
Challenge for the Knicks now is to take something away from the Bulls.
And a timeout called by Phil Jackson with 3:59 remaining in the first quarter.
Speaking of winners, a real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink and know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser. Bulls play defense, and Michael Jordan takes great pride in his defense. And he swooped that ball out of the air, went flying down court, gave Charles Oakley a hard time, and then went up with the left hand beautifully.
Just under 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Bulls have certainly done it with the break. They lead it 19-13, and John Paxson missing on his first shot. He hit 3 in a row. So the Bulls 7 for 13 from the floor. The Knicks struggling at 5 out of 18, but down by only 6. Oh, Ewing beating Perdue on the overplay, and a nice pass from Starks.
Well, with Xavier McDaniel out now, Starks in. Knicks going with the 3-guard look.
Anthony Mason getting set to come on. It's been Patrick Ewing leading the Knicks. He has 11. 11 of the Knicks' 15 points. Foul called. Pushing foul. Looked to be the indication on Oakley. It is Oakley. Wilkins vehemently argued he thought it might be number 3 on him. He is sitting down anyway, but Gerald leaves with the 2 fouls. Oakley and McDaniel each have 2. The Knicks over the limit, so Pippen to the line. The Knicks now have Anthony Mason and Patrick Ewing up front with Charles Oakley. And back to the two guards, Jackson and Starks.
Pippen's been relatively quiet lately as Jordan has exploded with very high scoring from game to game over the last 10 games. In fact, he's only had a 20-point game in the last 10. He's still averaging 21 for the season, however, but he contributes as usual with his rebounding and his assists.
The Bulls 22 and the Knicks 15. They'll make it 21-15. Scoreboard incorrect. Starks guarded by Pippen from downtown and rebounded by Grant. Good box out by Horace Grant. The Knicks with 7 straight wins, their longest win streak of the season. Jackson over to help out, and Jordan threw it away.
And that help that Jackson put forth created confusion from Michael Jordan. Mark down one imperfection, Marv.
There's Ewing around Purdue, rejected by Pippen. What a play by Pippen coming over to help. And Pippen feeds Paxson, who has the open jump. Rebound Jordan, and he will regroup. Bulls lead by 6. It was last touched by Starks, but the crowd applauds the Knicks' defensive effort. Again, Jordan was stopped. It will be Chicago ball with 18 on the 24. Grant gets inside, and it's tipped home. Pippen able to deflect it off the glass, and the Bulls now lead by 8. Patrick Ewing is at 4 out of 8 for 11 points. The rest of the Knicks 2 for 13. 2 minutes. Jackson. And a loose ball foul. It's against the Knicks.
See, the Bulls are so smart. They know that the people who are matched up with Oakley and Mason can lay off them and think about help. Tremendous edge that gives a team like this because they can bother Ewing and Jackson and Starks instead of thinking about Oakley and Mason from the near perimeter.
Charles Oakley just collected his 3rd, and Kiki Vandeweghe will check in.
2 fouls. The previous Knicks foul was charged to Gerald Wilkins.
Well, now they make a change. That earlier foul that was announced as Oakley was indeed called on Wilkins. So Gerald does have 3. He's sitting down, and Charles Oakley departs with 2 fouls. Here's Horace Grant, 1 for 1 from the line. Horace having a terrific season. He's averaging just under 15 per game. There's Gerald sitting out with 3 personals. Oakley with 2, McDaniel with 2, so the Knicks in early foul trouble.
Marv, how about this man's last 2 games against Cleveland? 18 points, 18 rebounds Saturday. Last Tuesday against Denver, 11 points, 20 rebounds. Horace Grant is big.
Horace in his 5th year out of Clemson. There's the last couple of years. Starks for 3. And the Bulls now lead it 23-18. John Starks hit a couple from downtown Sunday night against the Trailblazers. B.J. Armstrong has come on for the first time. Michael Jordan has the jump shot going.
Great sparks going on between Mason and Grant. Mason's coming in, being very physical, and Grant, who's bulked up tremendously in the last year, is ready.
Ewing, yes. Patrick Ewing is on fire. He has 13. The Bulls lead at 25-20 as we come up to 1 minute to go in this first quarter. Jordan again. He has 12.
How he evades defenders with his sleight of foot.
Sleight of foot, huh?
Can't be hand. I know sleight of usually goes with hand.
I've never quite heard it captured in that manner. Sleight of foot. I'll buy it, John. The sleight of foot has accounted for 5 out of 6 from the field. And Patrick Ewing continues his battle in the scoring column with Michael Jordan. 15 for Ewing. Jordan has 12, and the Bulls lead it by 5. Grant gives it right back. Here's Jordan putting on a jump shooting exhibition. A rare miss for Michael.
Remember, Michael always came to the Garden in recent times and let his teammates work into it. Not tonight. He's out shooting early.
clock is down to 5. Here's Ewing. Yes! Patrick Ewing from long range, and the Knicks are within 3. Ewing has 17 of the Knicks' 24 points. Final seconds of the first. Pippen unleashes and hits. Oh, what a quarter. After 1, here at the Garden, it's the Bulls 29 and the Knicks 24. Well, tonight's overhead camera shot is brought to you by the Upper Deck Company. Nobody does basketball like Upper Deck. And there it is, John.
Nobody plays basketball like Michael Jordan either. Michael skipping his way to the foul line. Bang, jump shot. Notice how big the basket is from above, Marv? Really, 2 basketballs will fit in the basket at the same time. Remember that.
You have told me of that experimentation on many occasions, yes. Second quarter underway. Here's Grant on the follow, and the Bulls lead it on the score of 31-24. A first quarter that featured Patrick Ewing burning it up for 17 and Michael Jordan with 12. Starks, yes. Starks has hit his last 2, including a 3-pointer. Greg Hodges has come on for the first time, as is Greg Anthony. Now Purdue looking to post up Ewing, and then gets it out for Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong, it counts, and a foul on Greg Anthony. So B.J. Armstrong, who has had a very solid season, will go to the line Saturday night against Cleveland. B.J. 7 for 11 for 16 points.
Talking to Johnny Bach before the game, the assistant coach, about the team, and asking about Armstrong, who's been putting up some impressive numbers lately. He said, you know, to me, he said, a lot of players like to score, look to score. B.J. Armstrong lusts to score. To the point where that's all he thinks about, frankly. He really doesn't elevate the members of the second team enough, who he plays with most of the time, but yet a very talented player.
Bulls by 7 points. Ewing? Yes, and it counts! Oh, we are seeing one of his extraordinary offensive exhibitions. Purdue for the foul, his first, and Ewing to the line.
Well, Purdue giving him room. As soon as you give Ewing a little room to spin, why, then he goes to work. That's what the Portland Trailblazers saw plenty of the other night in the 4th quarter.
Patrick Ewing has 20 points. And the Knicks are down by only 4, although, aside from Ewing, they have shot poorly. Pippen being guarded by Vandeweghe. Here's Hodges for 3. Purdue on the rebound, and he's fouled. Anthony Mason called for his first. It's a loose ball foul. Chicago now has a front line of Purdue, Grant, and Pippen. Armstrong and Hodges are at the guards. Very difficult matchup for Kiki Vandeweghe going up against Scottie Pippen.
Handled Pippen well. Made him settle rather for the jump shot.
Starks played by Hodges. Anthony guarded by Armstrong. Ewing to the drop step. A rare miss for Patrick Ewing. Armstrong with a nice move, but firing a brick. Pippen on the rebound. Thought he draw foul, did not. And the Knicks have a 3-on-2. Vandeweghe to the left hand, but it was blocked by Purdue. Back comes Armstrong.
He didn't go up strongly enough.
Here's Pippen. Ewing did not want to pick up a foul. So Scottie Pippen with that quick step to the left. And he's provided a 6-point Chicago lead. Michael Jordan sitting out here at the start of the second quarter. And the Knicks take a 20-second timeout. The Bulls lead it 35-29.
Boys, Pat Riley working on Kiki Vandeweghe. As soon as the huddle got together. They're not talking offense. Pat Riley's talking defense. Pippen with a little room can explode by anyone in the league. Moments ago, he was held in check by Vandeweghe, who made him go for the jump shot because it was a half-court offense. But when there's room to move, Pippen is super.
Our crack statistician, Eric Merlis, pointing out that the Knicks opened up 2 out of 14 from the floor, but since then they've hit 10 of 16, so they have turned it around. They're down by 6, and look at the numbers on Patrick Ewing. And we're only a couple of minutes into the second quarter. Ewing with 20 points, does not have a foul, also has 8 rebounds. Ewing, yes.
What a show.
Patrick Ewing cutting it down to 4. 22 for Ewing. Here's Hodges spotting up. Hodges kept it alive. Purdue rejected by Ewing. Grant lost it. The strip by Mason. Here's Starks, and he's blocked by Armstrong.
Well, when you take away, as the Knicks just did, the Bulls get treatment like they were giving the Knicks earlier in this game.
Mason setting the pick. Anthony, yes. So the Knicks are within 2. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Grant feeling around for Mason. And we get a whistle that will not count. The outside official, Bill Oakes, calling the foul on Mason. Here comes Oakley, so Ewing will get a rest. And here's it from the crowd. Patrick Ewing, 9 for 14, 22 points. And as Ewing departs, Jordan returns. Stacey King has come on for the first time, as has Scott Williams. This is a very deep Chicago ball club.
Center number 3. Cartwright, Purdue, and now King.
Armstrong. Starks hustles it down. 3 on 2. Here's Vandeweghe. And Scott Williams on the rebound. The Bulls with the ball and a 2-point lead. Jordan spinning, lost it, and was tipped home. Scott Williams with the tip. And a delay of game warning called on the Bulls. The ball knocked away, not allowing the Knicks to move back on the transition.
Nice pick, getting Jordan some room. Bulls get lucky. Williams right in the proper spot.
Scott Williams, second year out of North Carolina. Last year, the only rookie on the Bulls roster, made it as a free agent. And it's Williams called for the foul. Very active player, as we discussed all last year, even when he wasn't playing, as Johnny Bonk had mentioned to you. The coaches liked his skills. So often you hear that, and it's just pat. But they were accurate because he certainly came to life during the playoffs.
Also, they admired the fact that even with a painful shoulder injury, he kept digging. John Starks brings the Knicks to within 1.
Second three-pointer by Starks. Jordan able to answer. And the Bulls lead it 39-36. A first half that has been played at a furious pace. The Knicks, after the poor start, shooting well. 7.5 remaining of the half. Oakley given the open shot. Rebound Vandeweghe. Bulls go to a double team, and Oakley's pass could not be handled by Mason, but a foul called on Chicago. It's on Jordan. That's his first. Vandeweghe, Mason, and Oakley up front. Anthony and Starks in the backcourt. Anthony trying to set up Oakley. Hodges with the steal. Here's Jordan on the pull-up. Bulls 41, the Knicks 36. 16 points for Jordan.
I mean, the defenders can't stay with Jordan. He's operating in his own sphere. No one is staying with him.
Starks around Williams and lost the handle. Stacey King setting up to post up. Oh, Jordan twirling the ball as he's met by Vandeweghe. Very confident. And goes to the fadeaway. A little cockiness on the part of Michael. Mason tried to hit Vandeweghe. Leg block call. Armstrong kicked it. And the Knicks get a new 24. Bulls do not like the call. Timeout has been taken. 6:14 remaining. First half. Who is this imposter? The czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, has pulled his way on to the broadcast, John.
Well, Marv, we're going to give you and Mike a little look at the earlier days of the one they call Marv Albert. Mike, what do you think of this? Marv is the one on the left, Mike.
Well, it obviously was the beginning of what has continued to be a long line of just chasing jocks around from years ago.
Do you know who that man is?
Al Kaline?
One of the all-time greats.
Frank Larry, pitcher for Detroit.
Okay.
All right.
Those are the guys you chased, Marv.
No, it's just part of the training to be able to deal with people like you and Fratello. Patrick Ewing is back on and gets right to the offense. He has 24, and the Bulls with a 41-38 lead. Mike, you just happened to be in the area dropping by?
There was nothing much going on, so I thought I'd stop in and catch a game tonight.
Yes. The Knicks continuing with Vandeweghe against Jordan. And Ewing with the rebound.
Mike, what do you think Phil Jackson is telling his Bulls about this Ewing explosion here? How can they deal with it?
I don't think there's any secrets around the league that as Patrick goes, so go the New York Knicks, and that's the guy that they rode on that recent West Coast trip, and it's a guy they're going to come out and try and establish here this evening, and Chicago obviously is going to do the best they can, but would not be real concerned if Patrick got his and the rest of the people did not do very much in contributing alongside of him.
Even though it's a three-point situation right now, huh?
It's a long game. Long game.
These are the kind of comments that have brought this man a network contract. It's a long game, says Fratello.
Just another astute observation.
Very, very incisive. Bulls lead by 3. Scott Williams picked up on a double team. Hodges for 3. And he's been off, but Williams gets it right back. Armstrong from downtown. And the Bulls now lead it by the score of 44-38. Scottie Pippen is getting set to make his return. Ewing out, working against Cartwright. Ewing was looking for a foul.
He put so much into his move there, I think he confused himself.
Here's Hodges. Good move by Craig Hodges. And the Bulls now lead it 46-38, 4:20 remaining in this first half.
As Phil Jackson comes down the stretch run here, he gets Hodges his minutes earlier in the games, understanding that when it gets to playoff time, he becomes a very big weapon for them. Early in the season, Hodges, whether or not he got off the bench, was not real important to Jackson. At this time of the year, he's got to have him ready.
And now Patrick Ewing taking some shots a bit out of his range. Earlier, hitting from all angles. Jordan now being guarded by Xavier McDaniel. And last touch by the Bulls. B.J. Armstrong claiming that John Starks got a piece of it. There's Mark Jackson back, replacing Greg Anthony.
Mark, this is one of those times, I think, where Mark Jackson has to realize, sitting over there taking a look at what's going on, that perhaps Patrick, they rode him pretty well, throughout that first quarter. Maybe it's time to get somebody else involved here in the offense, get somebody else off.
The Knicks are down by 8. 3:35 to go. First half. Starks for 3. And it's last touched by Scott Williams.
Come on.
So Xavier McDaniel will throw in. Slow start for the X-Man. Got in the early foul trouble. Charles Oakley sitting down with 3 fouls.
More doubling and tripling now on Ewing by the Bulls.
And Paxson is called for his first.
Taking a look at Ewing now as the target. The Bulls very sensitive to him down low, and they converge on him quickly. It's hard, Mike, isn't it? Once the big man starts his move, which is when the deceptive double team usually comes, to then adjust and find an open man, isn't it?
They understand that there are certain big men that once they begin a move have no ability to find open people on the floor, no ability to make a late drop-off pass. Patrick can do a little bit of that, perhaps not the best part of his game. So what they do is they let him begin and then come after him. Makes it so hard to adjust right in the middle of it when the concentration level is so great at scoring as opposed to, them watching other guys making free cuts to the basket. I think that's one of the great parts, obviously, of Michael Jordan's game, that he can elevate, get in the air, and then be one of those late drop-off passes. He sees the whole floor.
Cartwright picked up his 3rd. He sits down. Stacey King is back. The Bulls lead at 46-39. Jordan being played by Starks. Pippen wide open. And the Bulls lead at 48-39-12 for Scottie Pippen.
Oakley was matched with Pippen, then went to the boards, forgot about him, actually put his back to Pippen. By the time he recovered, it was too late.
Biggest lead of the night, 9-point Chicago advantage. Shot clock is down at 5. Jackson, McDaniel. Again, a terrific defensive sequence by the Bulls. Here's King. Oh, Pippen missed the tip. What an effort, though. Oakley for Ewing. And the Knicks have a 4-on-1. Jackson all the way. And it will be Nick Ball. But first, a timeout taken by Chicago. And Mike, we'd like to thank you so much for dropping by to share your views with us. There is no check involved here, though. I want you to know.
Again?
Yes, again. And as we resume, Patrick Ewing hits again. He's 11 for 18, 27 points.
Our Iconics shows are a sellout, and these tickets are turn-back tickets.
Oh, what a look from Jordan finding Grant. The Bulls lead at 50-41. A minute and 50 to go in the first half. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Trotwood, Clyde Frazier. We had a little taste of the czar, Mike Fratello. Very long-winded color commentator, isn't it? Starks for 3. Oh, nice move by Mason, wrestling it from Pippen. Now Mason posting up.
Jordan double teaming Mason.
And it's an offensive foul, a charge called on Jackson.
Big victory for the defense of Chicago. Double teaming, causing confusion. 5 men working together in the red shirts. Jackson double teamed. Mason was double teamed.
Here's Paxson. The Knicks are down by 9. Starks accelerating. They cut it to a 7-point Chicago lead.
Knicks are suffering from the lack of a reliable perimeter game here in the first half. Oakley, Mason, McDaniel, no outside shooting whatsoever.
Ewing got a piece of that shot. 45 seconds remaining in the half. 3 block shots for Patrick Ewing. Here's Jackson. Oh, rebound Oakley. Oh, what a move by Oakley getting inside against his former ball club. He has rarely had a strong game against the Bulls. But a very strong move by Oakley. He has 4 points, 7 rebounds. He's played well in this first half despite the foul trouble. Bulls take a 20 with 28 seconds to go in the half.
Charles has had 6 points, Marv, in the 3 games. None in the last game here at the Garden. Ah, yes, coming up at halftime. Marv, stick around. The Garden and everyone in the Western Hemisphere who can fit into the Garden tonight are going to honor you here at halftime, as you well know. And we'll take another look at you. What was that, about a year ago?
Some fine shots. I believe it was actually a year and a half, John. I was borrowing your wardrobe.
Lovely shot, Marv.
Didn't
the tie and the jacket went together so well.
It was an ensemble, matter of fact.
Oh, yes, another look at Marv. The many faces.
Very complex individual.
More than a two-faced person, you know that?
Bulls by 5. That's time remaining in the first half. Ewing jumping out and causes the turnover.
Another imperfection for number 23. That's 2.5.
20 seconds to go in the half. The Knicks are down by 5. Five seconds left. First half. Oh, beautiful move by Jackson. So that is the end of the first half. Jackson and Oakley hit the deck. The score, the Bulls 50 and the Knicks 45. Patrick Ewing with 27 points. Michael Jordan with 16. We'll be back with our halftime in a moment.
And so the 26th year begins. Marv Albert with the only man who didn't applaud, John Andres.
Yes, thanks, Al. Nice setup by Al, I thought.
Very nice. Al was observant, as usual.
The Bulls by 5 as we get underway in the third quarter. Caught right. So the Bulls now lead it by the score of 52-45. I hate to admit, I thought Fratello got the best reaction on his attempted humor. I know you had a lot of good lines, but they kind of went above the crowd, I think.
Mike and I were chatting throughout the afternoon, and very careful not to turn the crowd off. Mike is very aware of crowd control and how dangerous crowds can be.
Jordan with a gorgeous move. Michael Jordan leading the Bulls with 16, and Patrick Ewing, high man, for the Knicks with 27. Here is Ewing. Rebounded by Pippen.
Somehow, some way, the Knicks have to get other than Ewing into the offense now. His overwhelming performance kept the Knicks in the game, but other people have to get involved now.
Wilkins. McDaniel had the shot, but he gave it back. Wilkins was wide open. Gerald is now 0 for 5 from the field.
Marv, the shocking numbers, Ewing with 27 in the first half, and the rest of his starting teammates totaled 6 points.
McDaniel called for the foul. Here is a look at the halftime statistics. Bulls 48%, the Knicks 19 for 49 for 39%, and Chicago with the edge off the boards.
Kind of numbers and advantage the Knicks had in Portland the other night, out shooting and out rebounding the Blazers.
Pippen caught right, Grant up front, Paxson and Jordan in the backcourt. Pippen with the step. Jordan. Michael Jordan continues to hit the jumper. He's 8 for 14 overall, 18 points. The Bulls lead it by 9.
Knicks had 5 people score in the first half, and 2 of them came off the bench. Starks with 10 and Greg Anthony with 2.
And Gerald Wilkins converts his first field goal. So the Bulls lead it by 7. The alley-oop saved by Jordan. Grant. McDaniel going right at Grant, and a blocking foul called on Horace Grant. That is his second.
Well, a very disappointing half for Xavier. 10 minutes of play, 0 for 4, no rebounds.
And Phil Jackson has just been handed a technical foul. He has been arguing the calls in rather animated fashion.
I would think he might have argued that McDaniel charged into his man, because Xavier really didn't put much of a move on. He just kind of banged into the defense on that play.
Jackson hits the technical.
Taking another look at it now as Xavier comes down court, kind of crashes into Grant. He really wasn't going up for a shot. It looked like he was just going to bang into another angle on it. You can see that when the shot move came at the end of the contact.
So McDaniel off the foul by Grant. Will shoot two. The Bulls now lead it 54-49. The X-Man with his first point of the night.
Well, I got to spring a few names on you now. I'm going to torture you in the second half. People from high school. Gilly Kruger, Shelley Bender,
yes,
Larry Frisman. How about that? They ring a bell?
Friends back from high school days.
Einbinder, Kulka.
Howard Kalkin. If Howard's listening, I wish him the very best.
More to come now.
One of my roommates at Syracuse. And the foul is called on McDaniel. So that's 4 on Xavier. Patrick Ewing was raising his hand trying to draw the foul because he does not have any. Instead, X-Man with 4 got in the early foul trouble. Jordan isolating on Wilkins.
Charles doing a good job getting that rebound. Finally gets help from Mark Jackson, who comes up and takes the ball away.
Wilkins over Paxson. And Pippen with the rebound.
You rarely see Knicks take uncontested shots. That's why the Bulls are so difficult. Now there's an uncontested jump shot for Paxson. They find the open man continually.
The Knicks have lost their last 10 straight regular season games against Chicago. The last win, January 15th, 1990. Jackson for 3.
That's uncontested because Jordan didn't believe Jackson could hit it.
And the Bulls have won 4 straight over the Knicks here at the Garden. Pippen. Well, the Bulls have hit a dry spell. Knicks have not been able to take advantage. McDaniel rebounded by Grant.
Remarkable. This is a 5-point game.
Pippen throws it back out. Jordan given the shot.
Pippen rather, and Xavier McDaniel getting into a severe brush. McDaniel thrown to the floor by Pippen.
And a technical also called on McDaniel.
It's hard to figure, Marv, from McDaniel's standpoint. He's the one that got thrown to the floor, but the foul was called prior to that.
Paxson will shoot the tee. Both clubs struggling here at the start of the third. Chicago's hit only 2 out of 9, and the Knicks 1 for 6. Craig Hodges being waved on. McDaniel sitting down. John Starks is back, so the Knicks go to the 3 guards. Here's Hodges, the downtown specialist. See the poor shooting here on the third. And Oakley called for the foul, so he has 3. McDaniel sitting down with 5. Wilkins has 3. Pippen called for a travel.
Could have been a carry, too, in the initial part of that move. Pippen not his usual smooth self on that sequence. Well, the Bulls have opened the door up for the Knicks, Marv, and the Knicks are not walking through quite yet.
Neither club able to find the range here at the start of the third quarter. Bulls lead it by 6. Ewing off the fake. Rebound, Wilkins missed the tip. Hodges. Craig Hodges does not need a screen and able to do it right off the dribble. One of the terrific qualities of that outside touch of Craig Hodges. Ewing able to handle a difficult pass from Hodges. Came up with a steal. Paxson putting the move on Wilkins. And it's tipped home by Pippen, and Pat Riley wants to talk it over. 6.5 remaining. In the third, the Bulls have opened up a 10-point lead.
Michael Jordan exploding out of that Knick offense, coming down court. John Paxson on the lefty shot, which was successful earlier. The Bulls very intense with their following each player to the basket. And they're putting such pressure on the Knicks, Marv. It looks like the Knicks' life has been sucked out of them right now. They seem like they just don't have any obstacles to offer the Bulls at this moment in the game. They don't resemble their effort in Portland the other night.
Pippen called for his second foul. Starks for three. Yes. John Starks from downtown. That's his third three-pointer. And the Bulls now lead at 59-52. Pippen went to the second option. Here comes Wilkins. Starks for three. Yes! So the Bulls lead by only 4. That's 4 from downtown for John Starks. Here's Grant. Well, the Knicks sensing a turn. We come up on 5 minutes remaining. In the third, Wilkins for 3. Gerald Wilkins continues to have his problems. He's 1 for 9 from the floor. Hodges for 3. And Pippen able to hit on the rebound.
Why Pippen should be alone like that under the basket has to mystify Pat Riley.
16 for Pippen. Jordan leading Chicago with 18 points. Here's Starks for 3. Oakley hit the floor and a loose ball foul call. Pippen and Oakley had some words. It looked like Pippen was trying to help Oakley up, but he pushed him aside.
Mentioned Gerald's poor shooting tonight. He comes off that 4 for 17 in Portland the other evening. Another look at that hustle by Oakley. Pippen was happy. Charles wasn't.
Scotty put the ball in Charles's stomach with some impact, and I don't think that Charles Oakley appreciated it. Wilkins for Starks. It's recovered by Ewing. Wilkins, wide open 3.
I don't think Gerald wants to shoot him because a moment ago he didn't want to look for that shot. I don't think he wants that shot now. The fans are really on Gerald's case.
Well, Gerald Wilkins shot only 4 for 17 Sunday night against Portland. Here's Cartwright. And the Bulls can't buy one here. In the third, they lead at 61-55, but Michael Jordan is about to make his return.
What a luxury Phil Jackson has to come back with Jordan.
Five on the 24. Ewing. Ewing keeping it alive.
What frustration by the Knicks.
And the basket will count, says the outside official, Joe Borgia. Well, apparently, calling a foul, it seems as if there would be an indication of offensive interference, but the foul called on Cartwright, that's 4 on Bill. Here's Kiki Vanderweer getting set to check in. Oakley now sitting down. Anthony Mason is back. 3 minutes left in the third. Starks stepped out of bounds. Vandeweghe for Wilkins. And Gerald is hearing it from the crowd. 1 for 10 from the floor.
Gerald very concerned to open this game with being matched up with Michael Jordan. Now here's a man who received a new contract that was announced today, Phil Jackson, but he is ornery as can be on that bench tonight. He's not letting the heavy bucks that are coming his way, which are hard-earned, affect his attitude this evening.
Yes, he signed a 3-year contract extension. Pippen. Basket being waved off. Foul before the shot attempt. It's called on Vandeweghe. Timeout taken. We'll be right back. Terrell Wilkins having a very long night. 1 for 10 from the field and now sitting it out. The 1 for 10 coming after a 3 for 10 Saturday in Seattle and a 4 for 17 in Portland on Sunday night.
Gerald very concerned with defense tonight, dealing with Jordan to start things out. He's had much better games, though, offensively against Jordan. He's kind of crashed lately offensively.
Will Purdue has checked back in. Bill Cartwright sits down, only a field goal for 2 points. For Cartwright, who has 4 personal fouls. 17 points now for Pippen. The Bulls 62, the Knicks 55 with 2:45 remaining. In the third, Chicago only 5 for 17 from the floor here in the third quarter, and the Knicks 3 for 16. That's how it's gone.
Very interesting, though. Pippen, like Jordan, has also not played at his average scoring per game this season. He's hit 21, which is his average only once.
Ewing lays it off for Mason. Mason was expecting contact. Last touch. Well, the Knicks claiming that it was deflected out by Chicago. Lee Jones getting another look at it and says the Knicks were correct.
Phil Jackson very unhappy with that call.
Oh, the steal by Pippen. Hodges with the open shot, banks it home. And Craig Hodges has become a factor. He has 6 points.
What's standing out to observers here is how the Bulls jump shooters are shooting the ball. I'd say a Knick player is often 10 feet away, the nearest man. How is that happening time and again? Boy, Pat Riley's going to be haunted when he looks at these game tapes.
Here's Starks for 3. Hodges try to spot up. Pippen blocked by Ewing. Vandeweghe eluding Jordan. He knew that there was a pull on his back and was able to make the nice move. So the Knicks are down by 7.
And it's always heavy with a bull on your back, particularly when it's Jordan looming.
Foul on Mason. That is his 3rd. Well, we're set for an update. Let's go to Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
Marv at Cleveland tonight. Cavs playing host to Miami. Mark Price to John Battle. Beautiful no-look pass to Hot Rod Williams. That put the Cavs up 104-87 in the 4th. Back to you.
All right, Bob. Here's B.J. Armstrong replacing Craig Hodges. Sits down with 6 points. Horace Grant on the line. He hit on the first. Bulls lead it 66-57. Light pressure being shown by Chicago. Vandeweghe up front now with Ewing and Mason. Starks and Jackson at the guards. Here is Vandeweghe. Yes. Kiki Vandeweghe not able to get going in the first half. Has hit on a drive and now able to convert the jumper.
Well, maybe Kiki can help Ewing out by hitting and demanding Pippen play him and open things up for Ewing a bit so he doesn't have to face double and triple teaming.
Purdue was left open and Pippen spotted it Beautiful execution of the pick and roll.
No reaction by the Knicks in the back, and that was Vanderway.
First field goal for Will Perdue. Bulls 68 and the Knicks 59. Starks. Yes. John Starks with his 5th three-pointer. So the Bulls now lead it 68-62. Starks 5 out of 8 from downtown.
Knicks must dig in here at this end.
Jordan fouled as he went to the reverse. Patrick Ewing called for his first. And Jordan to the line. He's 2 for 2 from the foul line.
Well, when Jordan was here on February 13th, his only other visit to the Garden this year, he scored 4 field goals, 4 out of 15, 17 points. And after the game, he was quoted as saying, "Everyone's entitled to a bad day at the office." That was a rare night, and yet the Bulls had enough to beat the Knicks 106-85 with a complete team effort.
One of their 3 victories over the Knicks this season. They beat the Knicks 12 straight in the regular season, 17 straight overall at Chicago Stadium. And the Knicks have lost their last 10 straight regular season games against Chicago. Bulls by 8. Final seconds of the third. The tip by Mason. Bulls lead at 70-64. Time running down in the third. Pippen able to get it off from three-point land. And again a buzzer basket by Scottie Pippen. He did it in the first quarter, and he closes out the third with a three-pointer at the buzzer. Here's another look at it. Time running down. Pippen unleashing from straight away. So the Bulls, after 3, lead the Knicks 73-64.
Michael Jordan working his way back. The Knicks aren't really pushing the Bulls to the perfection level they often play at. Look at the Toyota matchup. Michael Jordan against the Knicks this season. 20 points, 8 out of 15, 4 for 4 from the line. Representing himself well in all statistics, I should say, tonight against the Knicks. But nothing overwhelming thus far, although the Knicks continue to knock at the door slightly.
Patrick Ewing, 27 at halftime, did not score in the third. Vanderway for 3. So Kiki Vanderway has hit his last 3 after missing his first 3. And the Bulls by 6.
Knicks have not shown the combative, tough personality they gave Seattle and Portland. The fans here are waiting. Michael Jordan on the follow-up of the Pippen jump shot. Slams it down.
Bulls by 8. 22 for Jordan. Starks forcing. Pippen. And a foul is called. Pippen shaken up.
Number 2, Greg replaces
Scottie Pippen, so tough with the ball, 6'7", he glides, then he goes over people, draws the foul, difficult foul. He takes a beating in his own way.
Greg Anthony is back, replacing Mark Jackson. Pippen is 5 for 6 from the line. Foul called on Ewing. That is his second.
You know, Marv, that rushed shot by Starks, who has been spectacular with his long-range shooting, but yet it was a rushed bad shot. Reminds me of that first game in Chicago that the Knicks played. Pat Riley said after that game, until we start playing smarter and stop making knee-jerk reactions, we'll flounder sometimes. We didn't play smart enough tonight. And I think those quotes apply now. Ewing carried the Knicks in the first half, but they're not getting good play in the second so far.
Well, one official was calling a tie-up, but a loose ball foul has been called on Scott Williams, who had the headlock on on Greg Anthony. Bill Oakes had the better view, although Phil Jackson does not agree. Phil was called for a technical earlier. Bulls lead 75-67. We're just underway in the fourth quarter. Starks again from downtown. Anthony getting a new 24. Starks again, yes! That is his 12th three-point attempt. He's hit 6 of 12. I think they need the red, white, and blue basketball. The Knicks attempting 18 three-pointers. Jordan with the head fake to beat Vandeweghe and hit. He gets the call on the continuation. The basket counts and a foul.
That was Brown Jordan. Vandeweghe hanging with him. Then he gets help. Michael doesn't have to go up high to get that field goal. He scooped it up from down low. Talk about creative.
Three-point play for Jordan. And the Bulls lead it 78-70. Starks again. His 7th three-pointer.
We might be talking Knicks team record now.
7 for 13, and that is a Knick record. Most three-point field goals and most attempts. Starks has 22 points in all. The Knicks down by 5.
Time for Patrick to go to work.
Rebounded by Scott Williams. Here's Jordan. And Anthony on it. Feeds Vandeweghe. Broken up by Jordan, but it will be Knick ball.
See, in replay, Anthony should have given that ball up to Starks immediately when he got it. Starks could have burst ahead, but he held it a little bit too long.
Starks for 3. Yes! Make it 8 from downtown for John Starks. And he's pulled the Knicks within 2. Vandeweghe playing Pippen well. Now Starks guarding Jordan. Shot clock at 5. Jordan trying to feed off the King. Starks off the steal. Feeding Vandeweghe. And he's tied it at 78. The Bulls calling for a timeout.
The bench is brought to you by New York Telephone, who reminds you the New York Telephone regional calling area is bigger than you think. Well, the Knicks are getting a remarkable display of bench play from John Starks. This is record-setting shooting by John Starks, leading to the Knicks 41 points off the bench. Knicks playing some defense here. Mason made the big play. He jumped in the middle, broke up that play. Starks gives the ball up, and Vandeweghe certainly knows what to do with it from there.
John Starks, 8 for 14 from downtown. The Knicks with an 8-0 run. And the game is tied at 78, 8:15 remaining in the fourth. Pippen to the driving hook, and he gives Chicago a 2-point lead. John Starks breaking a Knick team record, most three-point field goals in a game. The previous record holders, Gerald Wilkins, Trent Tucker did it twice, 6 in a game. The Knicks have attempted 20 from downtown. They've hit 9. They're 2 away from a team record. Here's Ewing. Pippen able to get to it. So Phil Jackson calling that timeout, trying to settle things down. Stacey King guarded by Patrick Ewing. Vandeweghe and Pippen entangling. And they both hit the deck. Vandeweghe called for his second foul.
Vandeweghe knows he must play tough defense to get game time. And, of course, he's matched now with one of the game's best players in Pippen, and he's playing him very tough. Oddly enough, Pat Riley going now with one starter, Patrick Ewing, the bench players.
Vandeweghe with 5 fouls has not been able to get into it. Charles Oakley with 4 fouls. Here's Jordan, changed his mind. Pippen for 3.
What an effort by Starks.
Good hustle by Anthony to get to the ball, and he's called for a timeout. Called for a 20. Good move by Anthony just as Pippen was about to tie him up. Let's get back to Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
Marv, a surprise from suburban Detroit tonight, where former Michigan star Gary Grant made an impressive return. Grant to Ron Harper. Clippers go up by 16 in the 4th over the Pistons, win by the same margin.
All right, Bob. The Knicks trying to make it 8 straight wins, 7 straight representing their longest win streak of the season. They have won 11 of the last 13. 3 straight at home, 27-9 here at the Garden. Going up against the team with the best record in the NBA, the Bulls at 58-13. They've won 10 of the last 11, and they are the best road team in the league. It is Knick ball as we resume.
Starks doing a magnificent job, not only offensively, but defensively, digging in, matching his offensive effort with defense as well.
They trap Anthony, and it's picked off by Pippen. He's fouled. Starks call for his first.
Now, Mark Jackson's been carrying the Knicks, no question about it, in the backcourt the last couple of weeks. Pat Riley wrestling now with a decision. Do I take a guy out after a mistake, come back with Jackson? Or do I let Anthony stay in there, matched up with a speedy Armstrong?
Stacey King sitting down. Scott Williams is back. It's caught right up front with Pippen and Williams, Jordan, and Armstrong in the backcourt. Jordan finding Williams, rejected by Ewing. Knick ball, they're down by 2.
The last 3 times the Knicks have made Jordan give the ball up when he wanted to shoot it.
Ewing. He was stopped by Williams.
Soft shot he put up. He didn't present a strong enough move.
Scott Williams with a good play, though, coming over to help out. 6:20 remaining in the 4th. Michael Jordan getting a rise out of the crowd. So Jordan has 27. The Bulls lead it 82-78.
The Knicks need a rejuvenated, accurate shooting Ewing in the closing minutes, and that's what they got in Portland the other night.
Patrick Ewing has not scored in the second half. Here's Starks. That barely caught the front rim and was deflected out by the Bulls. John Starks has hit 8 3-point field goals. The NBA record is 9, shared by Dale Ellis and Michael Adams. Timeout called. We'll be back in a moment.
Remember, when you're having good times with friends, use good sense and drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser. Take a visit from our Dutch boy in the paint numbers. The Bulls with 21 points down low. 6 points from 3-point range. Look at the contrast with the Knicks. Thanks to John Starks, 27 points from 3-point range for the Knicks, and that's why we have a 4-point game right now.
Stacey King with the ice pack to the shoulder. Sitting it out. Placed moments ago by Scott Williams. Here's Ewing. Patrick Ewing, 27. In the first half, has not scored at all. In the second half, has not had many good shot opportunities. 5.5 remaining, 4th quarter. Cartwright able to get it back out. The Bulls with the ball and a 4-point lead. Jordan, unbelievable that he got that shot off. John Starks played him about as well as you could hope for.
I was just thinking it's mystifying that Jackson's not in. Then I look over at the scores table. He's getting ready to come back in now.
Ewing tried to deliver it to Mason.
The bad pass. It was an easy steal for Pippen. He broke it up. The Knicks telegraphed their passes.
Shot clock is at 5. Out of 3. Excellent defense by the Knicks.
Well, Jordan brought that on himself by holding the ball so long, and then he gave it to Cartwright, who's really way out of shooting position for him.
And Mark Jackson has returned, replacing Greg Anthony. Jackson and Starks at the guards. Ewing, Mason, Vandeweghe up front. Could be Vandeweghe getting much playing time, with McDaniel and Oakley getting in the early foul trouble. Starks, another three-point attempt.
You know, it will be amazing, Marv, when the Knicks review their fast break points tonight. So rare for the Knicks to have a successful fast break against the Bulls.
Pippen faking the drive and then stepping back and hitting on the jumper. He now has 24, and the Knicks take a timeout with 3:51 remaining in this fourth quarter. The Bulls now lead at 86-78, and Patrick Ewing 0 for 8 now in the second half. Bob Page will be on hand following Knick basketball. 3:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks trail the Bulls 86-78. Here's Vandeweghe. The Bulls on an 8-0 run after the Knicks were able to tie the game.
Knicks not getting any ball movement to speak of. It's pretty much whoever can get the shot up without too much interference is taking it. But they're not getting flow. They're not getting offensive movement.
Jordan backing Starks. Vandeweghe got a piece of it from behind.
Knicks have done a really outstanding job on defending Jordan.
Jackson. Nice move by Mark Jackson.
Boy, he willed that ball into the basket. That's the spirit that Jackson brings.
Bulls by 6. And the Knicks stay with the matchup of Vandeweghe on Pippen. Jordan trying to shed Starks. Ewing with his 15th rebound.
Ewing has to make himself a target. He's stationary.
Jackson challenged Pippen. And last touch by Jackson. .25 left in the fourth. The Bulls by 6. A three-point field goal onslaught by John Starks brought the Knicks back into it. He has hit 8 out of 15 from downtown. Pippen, and kept alive by Jordan. Nice feed for Pippen. It counts, and a foul.
Oh, he gives a razz to Mason too after he does that. Pippen slapped that ball a few times, and as if to say, "Here, you want this?" Jordan, unselfish, gives it up to Pippen. He deals with Mason's strength, and he rejoices a bit.
And here is John Paxson replacing B.J. Armstrong. Scottie Pippen, 5 for 8 from the line. He's missed his last 3 from the line. Sensational all-around game for Pippen. 25 points, 17 rebounds. And the Bulls lead 89-80. The Knicks with only 2 points the last 6.5 minutes of this fourth quarter. Ewing Yes, that's his first field goal of the second half.
You know, it's amazing. When the Knicks lost the one-point game to Chicago in their last meeting, they took 2 foul shots in the second half, and they were within the last minute of play. Again, they're not getting to the foul line tonight.
Minute 35 remaining in this fourth quarter. Now the Knicks to the line only 9 times. Jordan over the back of Ewing. It counts. And the foul.
Well, that's a Jordan special, a remarkable field goal. It's hard to imagine anyone other than maybe Pippen making a shot like this.
Unbelievable that he is able to suspend in midair and then fires it home as he draws the foul.
He refuses to allow his concentration to be interrupted, thanks to the great legs.
32 for Jordan. The Bulls by 10, and a timeout called by the Knicks.
During Knicks games, taking a look at the Chicago Bulls instructions being given by Phil Jackson. The Bulls seem to have turned it on. They flirted with the Knicks tonight. They let the Knicks think they could win this game. And then when the Knicks come on strong, the Bulls would pull ahead by, say, 8 instead of 6 or 5. They just were playing with the Knicks on the score clock, although they have not shot the ball that well here in the second half. They have not been overwhelming. It's been a very difficult night. Another example of the defensive effort of the fine Chicago Bulls team providing the difference.
All right, a reminder, this Thursday, 7:30, MSG2, the Knicks on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. And we'll be there to bring it to you Thursday night. And then the Knicks are back at the Garden facing Atlanta on Friday. Knicks down by 10. Jackson, yes. 7 points for Jackson. Bulls lead 92-84. Minute 15 remaining in this fourth quarter. They double up on Paxson. Here's Jordan putting the move on Ewing, and a reach-in foul is called.
Michael with a little humorous couple of words in the direction of Patrick Ewing, who does not acknowledge him.
No, he does not find it funny as he is competing against the Bulls, a team that has beaten the Knicks coming into tonight 10 straight during the regular season. 33 for Jordan. Scottie Pippen has 25, along with a career-high 17 rebounds.
Jordan comes in tonight following a 44-point game against Cleveland Saturday and a 50-point game in their prior game against Denver.
Bulls lead 93-84. Mason is stopped from behind and able to hit on the follow. 7-point Bulls lead.
Meanwhile, Jackson broke that Chicago Bulls defense down to make that happen.
50 seconds to go in the fourth. Shot clock at 10. Bulls spreading it out to work the ball. Three on the 24. Armstrong.
He doesn't give it up much.
Jackson from Mason. He draws the foul. Mark Jackson to the line. He was hit by Scottie Pippen. It has been a long night for 3 Knick starters. Gerald Wilkins sitting a long time, going 1 for 10. Xavier McDaniel in early foul trouble, 0 for 5, only 1 point. Charles Oakley also had foul problems. Only 2 field goals, but 9 rebounds for Charles. So here are the Knicks able to hang around despite the fact that 3 starters came forth with minor contributions. But the Knicks receiving a lift from John Starks, who has scored 28 points, and he's hit 8 3-pointers, 1 shy of the NBA record. Foul called on Jackson. 29 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The NBA record most 3-pointers in one game is 9. Held by Dale Ellis, then of the Seattle Supersonics. Did it back in April of 1990. And Michael Adams, then with Denver, did it in April of '91. Both Ellis and Adams doing it against the Los Angeles Clippers.
Starks with his 18-point second half, and Ewing with his huge 27-point first half were really the story for the Knicks. And another harsh example of what individual play does for a team in the NBA. Generally is not enough to win games.
Scott Williams for Bill Cartwright. Scottie Pippen having his troubles at the foul line. He hit his first 5, but he's gone the other way here in the second half. 5-point Chicago lead. Knicks still alive. 25 seconds remaining. Here's Ewing. Try to draw the foul. It's only a 3-point game. 20 seconds to go. And the Bulls take a timeout. A 20-second timeout called by Chicago.
You know, Marv, since Jackson came back into the lineup 4 minutes ago, the Knicks have gotten some direction. And he has done a fine job getting around people, breaking things down, drawing attention. Ewing going an awful long distance for this shot. What a tough shot. He makes one in close after a very frustrating from the field shooting performance here in the second half. So the Bulls, who are flirting with the Knicks throughout this game, now find themselves in a very precarious position. They are 1 3-point John Starks shot away from having a tied game.
Bulls have 3 timeouts left. The Knicks with only 1. Both clubs have used their 20s. 20 and 2/10 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter. The Bulls by 3. Well, the Knicks will have to give a foul now. And it is Jordan who will go to the line. The Knicks are over the limit. And a call for the foul. Jordan is 7 out of 8 from the foul line. 16 seconds remaining in the fourth.
Michael is on target, an 83% foul shooter this season. And he loves pressure.
Well, Jordan missing the first of 2, and Patrick Ewing with some psyching words in the direction of Michael Jordan.
And he was smiling. Patrick was smiling. This probably won't hit the rim, Marv.
Bulls by 4, and the Knicks call for time. So the final timeout being utilized by Pat Riley. We'll be right back. The Bulls with a 94-90 lead on the Knicks as Michael Jordan a moment ago hit 1 out of 2 from the foul line. 16 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks do not have any timeouts remaining, so the Knicks need a quick bucket. And then once again either look for the steal or give the foul.
I think they're going to go for the best shot they can get, even if it's a 2-point shot. They will try for the 3 if they can get a good one. But if it's not a good shot, go for a quick 2 and hope for a steal. But it must be a quality shot, not a heave off balance.
Knicks 9 for 21 from downtown. That is a Knick team record in terms of three-pointers made and attempted. Mark Jackson is the man who will inbound. And last touched by Starks. It will be Chicago ball.
So logical. The Starks would be the target. The Bulls were certainly ready for that.
15 and 4/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. And Starks gives the foul.
Much like the play with Kentucky and Duke the other day when Duke went to Christian Laettner because of his 6'11" height. The Bulls can go to Jordan, put that ball in the air, and he'll out-jump his defender to get the ball and be fouled. That's the man they want to have the ball, and he just goes up in the air and no one can deal with him.
Jordan is 8 of 10 from the line.
It's a new act with him, isn't it, Marv? Spinning the ball like that.
Yes, Michael enjoying the moment, and looked like he threatened to close the eyes, something that the Knicks and several other clubs have seen.
The smile breaking out. Michael feels comfortable with that 5-point Bulls lead now.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
He did it there with the eyes closed.
I'll tell you something, Marv. That's not that hard. But
Taking away the moment.
I've never seen it done in an NBA game, nor has anyone watching this game.
All right, final seconds. Starks. And that is it. Chicago Bulls were tested, but they come away with the victory to make it 11 straight regular season wins for the Knicks over the Bulls. The final 96-90 and the end of the 7-game Knick win streak. The Bulls have won 8 straight on the road. The Evian Natural Spring Water Player of the game is Scottie Pippen. And Scotty's Chicago Bulls now 59-13. That is the best record in the league. The Knicks are now 46-26. We'll be back with our post game in a moment.